Hello students, welcome to this video. In this video we are going to continue the lesson. Second part of the lesson. The lesson is a gift of Chappals. In the previous video we discussed about Mridu, Lalli, Meena, Ravi, how did they enjoy themselves. From where Mridu was taken to Rukumani's house. Who is Rukumani and by whom Mridu was taken to Rukumani's house. So these are the things were discussed. What then there was a secret. What was that secret and how the secret was described by Ravi. How the secret was exaggerated by Ravi, and what was that secret, and he gave some information about the MP Pune, Mahendra Varma Pallava Pune, how the name was given, why the particular name was given. After hearing that name, what was the reaction from Mridu? So many things were discussed. In the end of the video we discussed about Lalli. So she was learning music, violin, from the music master. How well Lalli was playing the music, that is also was criticized by Ravi, and music master, how the music master was playing the instrument, and how Lalli was playing the notes. So these were things were discussed in the previous video. Now in this video we are going to continue the second part of the lesson. Okay, let's start. Mridu crept up to the window. Mridu crept up to the window. Just past tense, crept up to the window. What is the meaning for crept up? Crawled. Okay, crawled. Crept up to the window. Who? Mridu. Lalli was sitting a little distance away. Lalli was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and a bowstring. Okay, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring. So there is some procedure to hold the violin and bowstring when someone who is playing the violin. But here Lalli holding her violin in awkward manner. What is awkward? Awkward is unseeming manner, unseemly manner. Okay, awkwardly in an unseemly manner, strange manner, not as usual manner, but it is a strange manner. She was holding her violin. Okay, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring. Her elbows jutting out and her eyes glassed with concentration. Okay, jutting out means projecting. Okay, projecting, this going up and down. Okay, projecting. Okay, her elbows jutting out, projecting, and her eyes glassed with the concentration. In front of her, with the most of its back to the window, was the bony figure of the music master. Okay, see, Lalli was sitting a little distance away, awkwardly holding her violin and bowstring. Her elbows, whose elbows? Lalli's elbows jutting out, projecting out. Okay, jutting out, and her eyes glassed with concentration. Okay, glassed out, glassed with concentration. This is the information of Lalli. How she was holding the violin, how her elbows were jutting out, how her eyes glassed with the concentration. This is about Lally. Now one more character in front of her, the most of his back to the window. Okay, he was the bony figure of the music master. So now we are going to talk about the music master. In front of her, with most of his back to the window. Okay, he was just leaning most of the part back of the music master to the window side. Was the bony figure, means so he was so lean. Okay, was the bony figure of the music master. Okay, description of the music master was the bony figure of the music master. He had a mostly bald head. Bald head means no hair on his head. That is, he had a mostly bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears. Okay, so fringe of oiled black hair, fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears. What is that fringe? Fringe, small border. Okay, fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears, and an old-fashioned tuft, and an old-fashioned tuft. What is that tuft? A cluster of hair. A cluster of hair. Tuft means a cluster. Okay, of hair. The tuft, it was a old-fashioned tuft. Okay, that nowadays no people are having that tuft. It was a old-fashioned tuft. Okay, a gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck. Okay, leathery neck, a gold chain. Okay, gleaming. Okay, he wore a gold chain. Who? That music master. He was a very bony figure. He was the bony figure of the music master, and bald head with a fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears, and an old-fashioned tuft. So these are the description of the music master. How his body, how his structure is looking like. This was the description. He had a bald head, fringe of oiled black hair falling around his ears, and he had an old-fashioned tuft. These are the description of the music master. If any question is asked about describe the music master, you have to answer in this way. How you can answer? He was the bony figure of the music master. It was the bony figure of the music master. He had a mostly bald head with a fringe of oil black hair falling around his ears, and an old-fashioned tuft. A gold chain gleamed around his leathery neck, and a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violins. When he was playing the violin, the diamond ring, okay, glittering on his hand as it glided up and down. Okay, gliding up and down. What is that glided meaning? Glided means moved along smoothly. Okay, a diamond ring glittered on his hand as it glided up and down the stem of the violin. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered waist edge. You might have seen any waisty has the edge border, different colors of different varieties of colors, designs are having. Okay, but here the gold bordered waisty was owned by the music master. A large foot stuck out from beneath his gold bordered waist edge, and he was beating time. Okay, he was beating time on the floor with the scrawny big toe. Scrawny means very thin, okay, scrawny big toe. He played a few notes. The music master played a few notes. Lally stumbled behind him on her violin. See, Lally stumbled. So music master was playing well. Okay, he played few notes. He was teaching violin, how to play violin to Lally. Okay, so music master played well, but Lally stumbled, means she felt very hard to follow him. Okay, she felt very hard to understand. Lally stumbled behind, followed haltingly. This is what the meaning. See, stumbled means followed haltingly. Lally stumbled behind him on her violin, which looked quite helpless. And unhappy in her hands. Okay, because it was not nice. The notes was played by Lally was not good, not up to the mark. So it was not good. It was which looked quite helpless and unhappy in her hands. See, this is a Lally, music master. Look at this head, bald head, tuft. This is the tuft, old-fashioned tuft, which I told you. No, see, look at this picture. You could have you may easily understand this. See, this is a tuft, bald head. Most of his back towards the window. See, this is vesty. Border of the vesty is gold border vesty. Is foot outside. Okay, foot outside. Now here Lally playing this instrument, jutting out his elbow. See, this is jutting out his elbow. See, he felt really hard to understand, hard to follow what music master is playing. Okay, this is what the situation. Okay, what a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. Okay, so the difference between the two people's one is a music master who showed Lally how to play that instrument. Okay, it was quite nice, it was perfect. But when Lally was playing the same notes, she was really quite hard. She felt hard to follow what her master was teaching. So there is a huge difference between them. What a difference! The music master's notes seemed to float up and settle perfectly into the invisible tracks of the melody. It was now explains furtherly how the music was when the music was played by the music master. It was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along. So when the music master was playing the violin, it was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along. Okay, this is what the description, how the music master played that instrument. It's really like the wheels perfectly fit into the rails. Okay, train rails and whizzing along, as Ravi said. Okay, who said this? Ravi. Mridu stared at that huge bearing hand moving effortlessly up the violin stem, making lovely music. Bearing means the music master is wearing a ring. That is a bearing. See, if you look at his hand, the finger. Look at the finger. He had a diamond ring already. We discussed. Okay, bearing. It was like the wheels. See, it was like the wheels of a train fitting smoothly into the rails and whizzing along. As Ravi said, Mridu stared at that huge bearing hand moving effortlessly up the violin's stem, making lovely music. Okay, the notes was played by the music master was really nice. Okay, squawk. Okay, squawk. There was a lully derailing again. Okay, so it was a railing when the music was played by music master. When lully was playing, it was like derailing again. Okay, squawk. There was a lully derailing again. Amma came a wail from the gate. Wail from the gate. Wail means just nothing but it is lament or mourning. Okay, lament or mourn. Amma came a wail from the gate. Amma, oh, see. Amma came a wail from the gate. Somebody at the gate is calling Amma. Okay, wail means mourning or crying, lamenting. Okay, there are many words. Okay, Amma, oh, is saying that. Okay, Amma came a wail from the gate. Amma, oh, kuval, we can say like that. Okay, wail, calling. Okay, Amma came a wail from the gate. Amma, oh. Ravi, send that beggar away, cried his mother from the back of veranda. See, whose voice was that? Beggar's voice. How he was wailing? Amma. Okay, Amma came a wail from the gate. Amma, oh. Ravi, send the beggar away, cried his mother from the back of veranda. Who was Ravi's mother? Rukmani. Where she was? She was in veranda. What she was doing? Let us see that. Where she was chatting. See, where she was chatting with Tabi. Okay, so she was chatting with Tabi in the veranda. Ravi was asked by her mother. Who is her mother? His mother, Rukmani. Rukmani gave instruction to Ravi. What was that instruction? She wanted Ravi to send the beggar away. Okay, she was so fed up because of this beggar. So Ravi, send the beggar away, cried his mother from the back veranda where she was chatting with Tabi. He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it is time he found another house to beg from. Party explained to Tabi. Already there was one party there, and along with that party now Tabi also joined with them. So the party says he has been coming here every day for the past week. So here look at this, has been coming, which means a present perfect continuous tense. Okay, he has been coming here every day for the past week. Okay, so for the last 1 week he has been coming here daily. Now it's a time he found another house. Now he needs to find some another house to beg from. Party also explained to Tabi. Okay, so they were chatting, sitting in the veranda. Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. Okay, so Ravi was sent by her mother Rukmani to send the beggar away because he was crying Amma Amma from the gate, and Rukmani was chatting with Tabi in the veranda. Now she was asking Ravi to send the beggar away. So Ravi goes there to send the beggar away. Mridu and Meena also followed Ravi. Okay, Mridu, who was coming along with the Tabi. Okay, Meena is already a sister, his sister. Okay, so Mridu and Meena followed Ravi out. The beggar was already in the garden. So Ravi goes there to send the beggar away, but already the beggar reached in the garden. There was a garden in Ravi's home. So he reached there. Okay, the beggar already in the garden, making himself quite at home. the beggar felt quiet at home. So he was so comfortable to be there. He had spread his upper cloth. Under the neem tree. Okay, in the garden there was one neem tree. In that neem tree, under the neem tree, he had spread his upper cloth. What is that upper cloth? Maybe he might have had the towel. Okay, he had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk. Okay, just imagine how the situation will be there exactly. Okay, the beggar just before Ravi reached there, he was just spreading out his upper by using her upper cloth and leaning against its trunk, neem tree. Okay, and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze. Okay, he was looking like to take some rest. But for what is that meaning of snooze? Snooze means a short sleep. Okay, snooze means short sleep. Apparently prepared to take a little snooze. If you look at the beggar, he was looking like to take some sleep, short sleep. Okay, because he felt quite comfortable to be there in the garden under the neem tree. So now he by using his upper cloth, which means a towel, he had spread out the towel and leaning against the neem tree while he waited for the ants to appear. Okay, already he gave appeal. He appealed to the house, the Rukumani, to get some food. Okay, to take some food while he waited for the ants. Ants means food here. Okay, so for his survival he need to have some food. He was waiting for that food. While he waited for the ants to appear. Go away, said Ravi sternly. Okay, go away. Imperative. Go away. Said Ravi sternly. Ravi strongly said go away, because the instruction was given by her mother Rukumani to send the beggar away, because he has been coming here the same house for last 1 week, so they were fed up. So instruction was given to Ravi to send the beggar away. Ravi said to the beggar, go away, said Ravi sternly, very strongly he said that. My party says it's time you found another house to beg from. Okay, my party says it's time now you have to find some other house to beg from. My party also said that. Okay, so you need to find another house to beg from. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. Okay, so now who were those children? Ravi, Meena, and Mridu. Okay, Mridu was coming from outside. Okay, so Mridu, Ravi, Meena. The beggar opened his eyes because he was already he was ready for to take some rest for sleep. Okay, the beggar, and now he is opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children. Gaze means just looking. Okay, looking at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said at last in a voice choked with feeling. Okay, because when Ravi said go away, he felt so disappointed. Okay, the beggar felt very disappointed, and he was looking one by one. Okay, all the children were looked by the beggar. He said, the ladies of this house are very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. Because of their generosity, they are very, very generous people. The ladies of this house are so generous. Because of that reason, I am surviving for the last 1 week. Okay, saying this in the very sad manner, in the very sad tone, the beggar was saying this. He said at last in a voice choked with the feeling, "Are very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week." Kept my body and soul together means managed to stay alive. Okay, I was able to manage to stay alive because of their generosity. For the last 1 week, I am managing myself to stay alive because the reason is because of their generosity. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. It is really unbelievable because for the last 1 week they were so generous. Now they refuse to give some. They are refusing to give any food. So it is quite unbelievable. Okay, I cannot believe that they would turn me away. The beggar says, and he raised his voice again. He raised his voice, "Amma, Amma, oh." Okay, sad his wail might be. Okay, now his voice is so sad. Okay, because of the disappointment, because the beggar was asked to go away, because Rukmani ordered Ravi to send the beggar away, and also his party also he has to look to another house to beg from. So now he is in sad tone, he calling Amma, Amma. But it certainly was not feeble. Certainly it was not feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly and came booming out of his mouth, with its few remaining teeth stained brown with battle chewing. Okay, so now the description about the beggar. Okay, the description about the beggar. See, he raised his voice, "Amma, Amma, oh." Who raised his voice? The beggar, the poor beggar raised his voice, "Amma, Amma, oh." Sad his wail might be. Okay, his wail means the sound. Okay, the crying. Sad his wail might be. Sound was so sad sound. But it certainly was not feeble. But it's not weak. Feeble means weak. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly. Strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly. Even though he is so hungry, he was able to make a deep sound and came booming out of his mouth. Okay, booming out of his mouth. Booming means loud out of his mouth. Okay, the sound was so strong even though he was so weak. With its few remaining teeth stained. Okay, teeth remained brown with the battle chewing. Okay, in this extent we conclude this part of the lesson. The remaining portions, the remaining part will be we will be continuing that in the next video. Okay, thank you.